Happy Juneteenth to all my brothers and sisters out there who are watching this video. And my name is James Harris, and I am back with another video for you guys today. And today I just want to do a reaction video to a really interesting video that popped up in my feed just a few weeks ago, or a few days ago I should say. You know, about the obsession with black men by 4D Shams. So shout out to him for making this video, and especially when it comes to from my experience of people's curiosity and obsession with black men, but also not with black men, but also with black people in general, especially if they're from America, if they're from South America, if they're from Europe, if they're from, the motherland too, Africa, and every part of the world too. So when it comes to with people's obsession with black people, or black men and women, I should say too, and it's just, I can only speak from my experience, and just rightfully so, because I can't speak for any other people's experience, and I have no right to do that. But from what I can tell, when it comes to with people's obsession with, obsession with black men, especially, from America, as where I am, especially like places like in Southern California, it's like a double-edged sword. Sometimes people look at you in a certain way. Sometimes they want to just be in your face or in your space, or they want to just have sex with you, they want to just, give you a sloppy toffee, or they just want to clench your purse and want to just start a fight and just do some weird shit and say some slick shit and try to copy your style, your clothes, your I say swagger or rhythm, but they want to just study you basically too. So it's kind of weird, and they just really doing that. And there's been history of that, people in entertainment industry, and especially not only in the entertainment industry, but certain parts of the entertainment industry, sports entertainment and music and gaming, and just any form of entertainment, and even creativity too. So it's just, I don't know, it's just from the transatlantic slave trade until now, it's just our people from America too, especially with black people, black men, black women who are from America, who are FBAs and all that too, just really experience some weird shit from certain people. And it's I don't blame them for feeling a certain way about it too, because I do as well, but I'm still the same genuine person that I am. So enough about me when it comes to with my experience. I'll talk more about that after I watch this video from 4D Shams. So when it comes to with this video, feel free to get comfortable, get your favorite snacks, self-care products and all that. When it comes to if you're watching this on your bed, or if you're just watching this on your TV or on your console, whatever that floats your boat when it comes to with this video. And without further ado, all credit goes to 4D Shams for creating this video, and let's get this party started. So, and again, happy Juneteenth to all my brothers and sisters out there who are watching this video.
6'7", 313, extremely long arms, underclassman, still 20 years old.
What do you mean by that?
Flashes. Look at the lower body, just huge.
Yo, my man, pause.
Dancing feet with that lower body.
Why are you talking about this man's feet like that? You got a foot fetish, motherfucker?
What? Is that not a crazy statement?
Right?
Thighs. I mean, they're power generators right there.
And this next clip is even crazier. But
nice Dragon Ball wallpaper, by the way.
You gotta pay attention.
That's cool. I like that Dragon Ball wallpaper. That's what's up. Is that Jamie Foxx? Shout out to him, man.
9 3-inch hair. 8.5 inch.
That person you just heard talking is Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Jerry
I understand knowing the
Jones.
stats of your players, their height, their 40 time, their wingspan, but why do you know their meat size?
Exactly,
what am I
that's
missing
weird.
Here? What type of freaky operation is the NFL running?
One of the things LeBron has, and I've never seen anything like it, is intuition. If he was a sea captain and he was in control of the Titanic, it would have never hit the iceberg. I've never seen a guy that can see problems before they happen.
Bruh, what the fuck, bro? Come on, man.
Bro, is that not crazy? Not playing. It's LeBron, so I understand. I mean, LeBron
Nah,
plays.
that's
We all
just
plays
wild,
LeBron
man.
for real. It's very justifiable. He probably wouldn't have crashed the Titanic. But no, seriously though, all jokes aside, today we're gonna be talking about the fetishization of black men. And honestly, this still sounds crazy to me, even though I'm the one saying it. But recently there's been this trend on social media where these guys are basically fantasizing about a big black man attacking them and them having to defend
Yeah, I
themselves
heard
and
it's
stand up
obsession.
against this
I'll talk
big
more
black
about
man
that
that's
later
going after them.
in this
I know
video.
this sounds crazy, but just watch.
Back.
When the 6'6" dreadhead starts squaring up because I was running my mouth a little too much.
Well, I won't back down.
And bro doesn't know how to shut up, so now my 5'10" ass gotta dance with the 6'5", 250 and lean dreadhead. When the 6'5" dreadhead starts squaring up because I was running my mouth a little too much. And I'm sure you've all noticed they're using the same song with the lyrics, and I won't back down. So they're basically just trying to say that they're not scared, they're not intimidated by a black man. Which, I mean, for you to even be thinking about this type of scenario unprovoked says a lot about how you feel about black men. When the 6'5", 250-pound dreadhead lays my boy out in the 9 jams. POV, you're a 6'5" nonchalant dreadhead.
I want to work with the nonchalant dreadhead. No, I'm going to work with the nonchalant.
Back.
When the 6'4" dreadhead squares up because I said the no word too many times.
Motherfucker,
When the
what?
6'4" dreadhead starts squaring up because I said my favorite word too many times.
Well, I won't.
What plays in my head while the 6'7" they keep getting taller. What plays in my head while the 6'7" dreadhead squares up because I said my favorite word too many times? It's an A, not an E, buddy. Okay.
Well, I won't.
When the 6'6" dreadhead squares up because I said my favorite word a few too many times.
Well, I won't.
When the 6'4" dreadhead squares up after I said a no word too many times.
Well, I won't.
When the 6'4" dreadhead starts gripping his waistband after I use my favorite word too many times. So we got some people just being racist because why are you using the N-word to begin with?
Wow. Man.
And then we got some people being racist and they want to get into an altercation with black men and possibly be able to use their 9.
Well, I won't.
Man.
And then our final destination is them turning into the 6'5" nonchalant dreadhead.
I want to work with the nonchalant dreadhead. No, I'm going to work with the nonchalant dreadhead. I want to work with the nonchalant dreadhead. No, I'm going to work with the nonchalant dreadhead.
Back.
And I want y'all to keep in mind that they're making
That's
these
the
TikToks
cringiest motherfucking
unprovoked.
shit I
They were
ever
probably
seen,
just
man.
vibing on a random day
The
and just
fuck?
thought, let me make this TikTok about what would happen if I got attacked by a big black man. And now what I'm wondering is how often do they think about big black men? And what other thoughts do they have about big black men? Do big black men haunt them in their nightmares? When they're
Or in
walking
their
with
dreams
girl,
or
do
their
they think,
bedrooms
oh,
and their
what would happen
fantasies
if
and
a big
shit?
black- No, I'm playing.
I'll explain more about that later.
Bro, this trend under the audio is so fucking cringy because it's literally just people doing shit like
No, baby, it ain't just that. It is what you said. It is so weird that they glorify harming black men. But you want to know what it really, really is?
What is it?
Beyond that? They're attracted to tall black guys.
No
And they're
shit.
so attracted to them that they have to misplace them. Because they can't admit to themselves
Mm-hmm.
that
Better
tall
talk to 'em.
black guys are their
Talk to your
type.
people.
So they have to change the attraction into anger.
Now, I don't know if that's the whole truth, but I definitely feel like there might be some truth to that because I honestly can't wrap my mind around why this trend would come about unprovoked. Like, what caused you to sit there and just think to come up with this trend and be thinking about black men that much? Brief intermission. I'm trying to get to 100K subs, so I'd
All
appreciate
right,
if
brother.
you like, comment,
Let's help him
subscribe
get there.
on this channel
Shout out to
and
you,
on my
40
reaction
Shams.
channel, 40 Shams Live. Also, join my
40
Discord
Shams.
and follow
All
me
right.
on Instagram. Love y'all. But no, seriously though, I
all
wish
right.
I could say this is just an admiration for black men, but it isn't. Because you see, having a fetish isn't the same as being attracted to someone. Attraction is normal. Someone might be beautiful or they might have a
Yes.
trait that you admire and you're attracted to it. But see, it becomes a fetish when you reduce someone to a stereotype. They're turning black
yes.
men into a
Agreed.
fantasy or an
Yes.
object
Yes.
rather than a whole, complex, complete human being. And I know some of you might be asking, what's the big issue here? You see, when you remove the humanity from someone, it becomes easier to do things like putting the Mandingo stereotype
Yep.
that used to be on black men. Black men were portrayed as these wild, lustful animals who just want to everything. And I know this might
Yep.
come off as a
Especially
stretch to a
back
bunch
in
of
the
people,
transatlantic
but even
slave-
things like the
slave
original
trade.
King Kong movie
Yeah, man.
might have possibly played into that stereotype, especially considering the era that it came out in.
A group of white men accompanied by the quintessential white woman traveled to an uncharted
King
island inhabited by native savages who worship a giant black beast named Kong. The men capture the beast and bring him to America in chains.
We'll give him more than chains. He's always been king of his world, but we'll teach him fear.
Sound familiar?
Yep.
Not long after, the beast
The
escapes his
transatlantic
captors
slave
and
trade.
steals the woman. She is saved by heroic white men who kill the black beast and reunite her with her intended mate. Whether Cooper intended to or not, Kong can be interpreted as an allegory for the American slave trade and interracial relationships.
And in modern times, the Mandingo stereotype has turned into the Tyrone stereotype. You know, this black alpha male who's just going around sleeping with people's wives and is super promiscuous. And one of the things that really played into these stereotypes and made them worse were adult films. They were literally playing out certain people's fantasies of a big black man, you know, taking advantage of a woman or being promiscuous, sleeping with someone's wife. Just some really sick stuff.
You may be surprised, but if you ask me, white men probably fetishize black men's bodies the most. Although not always sexually from a space of gratification, but through this vicarious consumption of black men's bodies. We see it mostly to me in sports, but also in porn, in the arts, etc. We see it in how white men sexualize and castrated black men during lynches. And the most heinous acts of white terrorism from the past, from Rosewood to Tulsa to St. Louis, were often in the name of protecting the virtue of white women from black men. Basically, since slavery, black men's sexuality has been imprisoned by this intersection of racist and misandrous violence. And over time, as with many cultural taboos, in a conservative society, it has turned into genuine fetish and kink. Myths about the size of black men's penis, black men as excellent lovers, the celebration of idealized black men's physiques, a bevy of sex toys meant to resemble the mythologized disembodied phallus of black men, along with more than a few jokes, tropes, and myths about black men's sexuality. Things that aren't only fetishized by white men and women, but men and women of all races, black women included, and black men as well. Black men today still participate in and or reject this image and what that means for us in terms of sex. To start, and this is something that will be repeated, of all the things stripped from us as men, this mythology is one thing that, while distorted, we still have some level of agency over, and in many ways, it's a key component to some of us finding avenues for success and personal capital through our art.
And I know some people might be wondering, what's the issue here, bruh? It sounds like you're suffering from success. Well, the issue arises when everyone starts trying to fit you into a box. People start thinking that every single black man is supposed to be super tall, super muscular, and have a super huge you know what? And yes, those stereotypes aren't as harmful, but there's the other stereotypes of black men being super aggressive, violent, that also end up being paired with those stereotypes. And so when people believe one, they usually believe the other as well. And this doesn't just apply to black men, it also applies to black women. For example, for a very long time, a lot of people thought that the black woman is somehow much tougher than every other woman. They just assumed that black women were less fragile, they're able to endure more. And that stereotype ended up growing to the point where it started affecting black women in health. Because certain doctors thought that black women were tougher, they would do things like give them less pain medication or not give black women the same care they gave to non-black women.
Black women are more likely to die or have complications during pregnancy or childbirth. So let's talk about it. So much of why this is because of societal and structural racism. What does that mean? It means all the toxic stress and the racist things that black women face every single day in their lives. When a person is faced with chronic stress, their body responds by releasing stress hormones. We know this. This is a medical fact. This is not open to interpretation. So imagine being a black woman constantly exposed to racism every single day. So where does that leave us? Black mothers are more likely to develop preeclampsia, diabetes, need to deliver by C-section, have babies that are born small, and much higher rates of preterm or premature birth.
Trigger warning. The risk of a black woman dying in childbirth or shortly after is 3 times that of a white woman. Maternal mortality increased by 14% in 2020, and black women were disproportionately represented in those numbers. In 2019, 754 women died in childbirth. In 2022, it was 861. And though black women only make up 13% of the population, about a third of those women were black women.
I hope you learned something from this video. And here's a little cheat sheet if you're ever wondering, am I appreciating or fetishizing? Would I still be interested in this person if they weren't black, Asian, Latin, or whichever POC you're interested in? Do I know anything about them besides what turns me on? Have I ever reduced their identity to a joke, emoji, or stereotype? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, then you might need to take a little time to reevaluate.
Exactly.
If you made it this far, I
agree
appreciate
with
you
that.
so much for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe.
All right,
and turn on
brother. Shout out to you, man.
And if you want to join the 40 fam and be a part of 40 World, go ahead and join my Discord channel. And if you didn't know, your boy definitely knows how to put that shit on. So go ahead and follow my Instagram. I'm going to be dropping heat on there very soon. All links are in the description below. Again, I appreciate y'all for watching. And, yo, gang, can you like subscribe to my reaction channel?
All right, brother.
Live. I know I already said it, but like,
Juneteenth. Yeah, we got you, man.
Do me a favor. Hey, I appreciate you. Hey, but not for real though. Keep turning me up, bro. 40 Shams, 40 World. I'm out. Love y'all.
All right. So, yeah, excellent video, and especially when it comes to the topic of this video too, about people's curiosity and obsession with black men, and even black people in general. You know, if they're from America or all places in the globe too. And it's just so weird, and I can only speak from my own experience just because I'm a black man from America, and it's like, you know, got ancestry here too when it comes to, you know, with my family, you know, in the FBA and all that. And it's just, I can tell you, and just really being real and genuine and just like straight up with you guys when it comes to with like, you know, people's curiosity and obsession with like black men or black people in particular. And it's just like, it's like a double-edged sword. Like I said earlier, it's just like from the transatlantic slave trade, you know, era to, it's just like our people, especially, you know, with African origins, was, you know, their humanity was stripped to, just like being brought to America to really just doing slave labor and some other despicable stuff from people who want to just take their humanity away. And just like up until now, like in 2025, and even like before 2025 too, it's just like, you know, what I can say when it comes to, if people have like a really genuine respect for black people and they really just sympathize for what we've, you know, been through, especially if they're from America too, it's just like, you know, I get that. That's actually genuine and actually kind of sweet and beautiful, just because it's like, you know, sometimes, you know, when it comes to with black people, we go through so much shit, you know, especially if you're a black man, if you're a black woman. But, you know, at the same time, it's just like if people take the time to really just, you know, to show some respect and give us our flowers, metaphorically, and to say the least. And especially like in pop culture, you know, like I'm a big fan of comic books, and especially when it comes to with Marvel Comics, seeing characters like Black Panther, King T'Challa, or, you know, Eric Brooks, my favorite character, Blade, and even with Storm as well, Aurora Monroe, when it comes to with representing like the beautiful aspects of, you know, black excellence, and especially in the fictional world too, and how they represent it now. They just have so much respect for those characters too, especially, you know, from people who really actually take the time to really just create those kind of characters, you know, from their origin stories. And even like with other media too. And it's just, let me see what I can say. It's just like, even with like people who are just like have like genuine respect towards us too, that's beautiful. But at the same time, it's just like people who are obsessed with us too, and really just reduce our humanity and just really stripped out of way to really just trying to fetishize us, try to copy us, copy our style, or anything like that. It's just really weird. And I've seen this before too, especially like in 40 Shams said too in this video about how certain people like to fetishize us in the adult entertainment industry with the BBC Fandango kind of like bulls and cucks lifestyle in the alternative lifestyle communities. It's just like, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I dabbled into that in 2009 and just like try to explore to see what's all about when it comes to just meeting women who like to have a good time, and it's just like I met some women who are just really sweet, but there's some who are just weird, and sometimes too I kind of like look at them sideways. It's like, how come you're obsessed with me in that kind of way? And it's just like, you don't have to reduce me to just like being like a fetish. You could really just show me, you know, respect as a person, and I'll do the same to you, because I was raised by two wonderful people, my parents, and particularly it's just like to treat people how you want to be treated, and just like really being a genuine person. So it's kind of like, it's, I don't know, it's sometimes with people's curiosity with, you know, and obsession with black men and black people in particular, it's like a double-edged sword. I can only speak from my experience. And even just like with now in 2025, it's just like it's still happening, but it's really different now. It's just like, even with like in the adult entertainment industry, it's just like, you know, people want to just participate in the NWO lifestyle, and just like want to just show appreciation to not only black men and black women, and black women too, especially, but at the same time they still want to just reduce us to a stereotype when it comes to being a thug, or just having like all these tattoos, being like a really crazy ass person. It's just like, what the hell? You want to show appreciation to black people from America, but, or even in general, but at the same time you still want to reduce them to being just slaves, or just being like a stereotype. That's like, what the fuck is this? You know, excuse my language, but it's gotta be real. But at the same time too, like people, like, you know, people said in this video, like, you know, black men and black people in general kind of like benefited from that too, because they got some success from just like with their obsession with like black people. And I'm not trying to like glorify it, I'm just really keeping it real. And I could say like one evidence of this is Michael Jackson. If you really just think about it, back in the day, just like with him just being this pop culture icon who's been just in the entertainment industry since he was 5 years old, and people just want to be in this space all the time. And just like with him just, you know, dealing with that since he was 5, and even before he passed, it's just crazy. Like that's how he became the king of pop, you know, mostly not because the people's obsession with him, but also with his talent, with his music, his mindset, and, you know, his values of who he is as a man, you know, growing up with a, you know, I know he kind of like had a rough childhood too, but, you know, people who kind of like supported him, like his mother, God bless, you know, God bless her too. And it's just like, yeah, it's just like people's obsession with black people and curiosity too. Like with Michael Jackson, for example, people want to just be in his space and go to his concerts, and when they see him, they just faint. It's just, it's crazy. I don't think you'll ever see that kind of obsession when it comes to with Michael Jackson. And it's kind of like, it should be kind of studied in a way too, just because like how people really, you know, react to him, and really just being around his presence. Like grown women, especially if they're a black woman, if you're a white woman, or if they're from anywhere too, they just turn into kids when they're around them. It's just crazy. And same goes to other people too, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, or just like when it comes to with Idris Elba, or even just like with other people too, like, you know, it could be Michael Jordan, it could be with LeBron James, it could be with Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace to him too. People love him too, especially when he played James Brown and King T'Challa, you know, before his passing. And even with Wesley Snipes, you know, Blade, you know, especially when he played Blade back in 1998. I mean, I kind of like, you know, I'm always inspired to Blade because I can really relate to that character from his origin stories too, which I'll explain probably in a Patreon video. But when it comes to like with Blade too, and especially with Wesley Snipes, like how people kind of like idolize him just because he represented that character so perfectly, and especially from his martial arts background and with his acting background too, from being in Michael Jackson's Bad video until like doing New Jack City, and even with Blade, and even just being now like to like in the Expendables, and now to with Deadpool and Wolverine. It's just amazing. And shout out to Wesley Snipes. He's been through some stuff, but I feel like he's learned from that too. And I could be totally wrong about that, and I can't speak for Wesley Snipes, but all I can say, he's just like, he's the original Blade, you know. It's just like, hey, there's gonna be one Blade, is ever gonna be one Blade. And you know, it's true enough too. So it's like he's the OG Blade. Nothing against the other actors who played Blade, like Sticky Fingers and dang, I forgot who's supposed to be playing Blade this year too. You guys could comment about that too. I know his name, but I can't think of it now too. So he was in Luke Cage as well. And so, and speaking of that, Luke Cage, especially, you know, with the Marvel comics, when it comes to with Luke Cage as that character too, this is big old black guy who's bulletproof. You know, what cooler is that? You know, it's just people's obsession about that too. And he's still like a icon in the comic community too, especially in video games. So, and he has his own show on Disney Plus, and Luke Cage, you know, shout out to the actor who played Luke Cage. He really did a good job, and hopefully they'll make another season of Luke Cage, because I love that show deep down, hands down. It just got the hip hop culture from New York and everything that's totally representing that. That's so cool. I love it. But getting back to, and really just sticking to the topic at hand too, when it comes to people's curiosity and obsession with black men and black people in general, it's just like, it's like, again, it's a double-edged sword. Even like when people trying to copy our style and trying to figure us out, and it's really being known in pop culture too. You probably seen the Vanilla Ices and the John Cenas and the Eminems out there too. Nothing against those guys, but you know that when it comes to with how they got their fame and their swag and everything else, they probably studied from one of those brothers who really taught them the game, you know? So when it comes to the hip hop culture and everything else, it's like, you know, yeah, it's there in your face. And yeah, say the least when it comes to with that, and especially in the adult entertainment industry. And let me say this before I wrap this up. I mean, if like women who are attracted to black men and genuinely have respect for them as human beings and not reducing them to like a stereotype, I have nothing against those women. You know, I think they're really cool. They're beautiful in their own right. When it comes to with just like, oh, okay, you like not just like particularly women, but also with men too, and people who have like a genuine respect and attraction towards black people. That's really cool. You know, that's awesome, especially if they, you know, respect what they've been through when it comes to with their culture, and really just, you know, treat them as a human being, and they have a genuine respect for them. That's beautiful, and I respect those people who really just do that. But for those who kind of reduce, you know, black people to like a fetish and strip away their humanity and just really reduce them to a stereotype, I look at you guys sideways. I'm just gonna really just be straight up with you guys too. And so when it comes to with that, because you're just, you know, perpetuating the stereotypes of black people that have been just going on for a really long time, especially in America. And you know, I can only speak from my own perspective as an American. I know it could really just be totally different from every part of the globe, and you guys are more than welcome to share your experiences, what you've been dealt with too, when it comes to with people's weird obsession about, you know, with you as a black person as well, especially if you're mixed as well. So I really want to create this reaction video to really not only to entertain, but also to really just for people to express themselves, especially people who have African origin too, wherever you are from the globe too. If you're from America, South America, Europe, Africa, etc. So, or even in Asia too. So feel free to share your own feelings and opinions and thoughts about your experiences too, from certain people who really just kind of like fetishize you in a really weird way and trying to strip away your humanity and just really trying to copy you and trying to like size you up or study you or anything like that. Kind of like some weird ass kind of like experiment. So I don't know. That's, with that being said, I think I got pretty much everything I got off my chest when it comes to from my experience just with certain people who have like this curiosity and obsession with, you know, black men and black people in general too. So again, happy Juneteenth to all my brothers and sisters out there. saying that metaphorically too, just because it's like I love my people, especially with black men and black women too, especially if you're from all over the globe. I have nothing but genuine respect, even though there's bad apples in the bunch, but I really appreciate the genuine people out there who really just represent black people as a whole. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm about to say when it comes to with this video. Hopefully you gained something from this video. If you felt entertained, if you felt you learned something, or if you want to correct me about certain things too, feel free to share your own feelings and opinions and thoughts about it too. And of course too, shout out to 40 Shams, if I'm saying his name correctly, with this video, and I'll make sure to post the original link to the video. So if you guys want to check out his video, want to check out his content and subscribe to his channel too, feel free to give this brother like a subscription too when it comes to with this channel. So when it comes to with that, just really helping him reach to his goals too. I'm trying to get to the 1,000 mark so I can get monetized on YouTube, but it is hard as a motherfucker. So I'm doing my best. I'm not gonna give up. I'm a fighter deep down. So hey, you know, if you want to help me reach to 1K, that's cool. If you want to help 40 Shams reach 100K, feel free to check out the original video, which is linked in the description below. I feel like my voice is about to break too. So with that being said, that concludes the video. I thank you guys for watching. Happy Juneteenth to all my brothers and sisters out there, especially for those who are mixed race with African origin, or they're just fully 100%, you know, black too, which is totally beautiful. So yeah, you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Yeah, live your best lives, take care of each other, take care of your environment, especially when it comes to our beautiful planet called Earth. And take care and many blessings.